Okay, finally. Hello. So I was over here as waiting for the two techie things, the YouTube platform to talk to the other thing that we use here to do these live streams, and they were just not connecting. There was a lack of frequency harmony in their frequencies. So it's kind of an interesting way to start. Welcome, everyone. Namaste. So lovely to see you and feel you after this incredible eclipse portal and everything else that has changed. It's such a different world, even though we're still coming into feeling what the world is. So most of us are still landing. It's like a long descent as you're getting used to where you've come to, what's your reality, what's your thoughts, what's your energy, what are the things that are most prominent in your reality right now after the two eclipses, which was from April 30th till May 15th. So as we come out of that energy, we're also still in a reflective and completion period. So that was a big theme during that time. Every client I have talked to this week had an epic and stunning and bizarre and amazing experience during the eclipse. I know I did. I had two different stings in the exact same area and an emergency room and that whole kind of thing, which has been an eclipse thing for me now for a couple years. And I said that since this is a portal of completions, I'm going to complete that pattern, please. And many other things that happened. So most people have had, wow, big stuff. Sometimes eclipses are quantum leaps. They take you from here to there, and it's not a progression that makes sense to your mind day after day or year after year. So you're going to take some time to find your balance and to figure out where you are, who you are, what's going on around you. And just give yourself that time, give yourself that love, give yourself that generosity of figuring it out. Because our rush, push, achieve, find the answer, fix it now, rat race mentality and conditioning and culture and programming that we've had is what's breaking down. So we're in the grand transformation or metamorphosis. And that's what it means, or societal reset. I heard a scientist who's an astronomer, not an astrologer, say that this is the decade of the great societal reset. So the fact that we could see the energies that are going to exist now, and the ancients could see them, the Maya could see them, many different cultures read the stars, communicated with the energies, understood how to predict. What did they predict? Well, they could predict energies. They could predict the spiritual weather. So that's what this is. This is the start of a series that I want to do on a regular basis. I don't know if it's going to come out weekly or a couple times a month, but I am constantly looking at the spiritual weather. I want to know what's happening right now. Not to the depth that I'm an expert astrologer, not to the depth that there's any of these particular areas that is something I have a doctorate in, but from the energy. So I want to teach you everything about empowering yourself to read energy, to sense energy, to move energy, to see, to perceive, to communicate with energy. Everything's energy. Your energy, I'm energy. This has been out in the conscious mind now for a couple of decades. Many other people, many of us have been unfolding for longer than that, but that became a thing during The Secret and the law of attraction, this explosion of information of the laws of the universe, or the hermetic principles, they're called. So our good friend Thoth was also Hermes, and he has come many times to bring wisdom about sacred geometry, about alchemy, about laws of the universe, about energy, so that we can remember who we are, that we are the creators. We're all part of the same, we're all one, and we're all individual. We're the singularity and we're the all. And we can connect and we can flow with that. So we're moving into the age of being who we're meant to be, living the life our soul intended, accessing the fullest potential of what we came here for. And yet most people are stuck in the drama of their life. And there's pain, emotional and heartbreak and divorce and abandonment and betrayal and abuse. And there's physical pain and emotional pain and mental, such low mental states filled with shame, filled with guilt. And guilt is where blame is. And we see it everywhere. You know, if you're on social media a lot, or if you watch the news, whatever is your connection out there, I want to tell you right away to be incredibly careful. There is no way you can watch that stuff and not be hypnotized. What do I mean by that? There's something that happens that softens the mind and allows the things that you're listening to bypass a conscious critical decision. And so you want to be careful what you're feeding your mind. You want to be careful what you're feeding your body. You want to be careful what you're feeding your emotional field. What energies are you living with and around, whether it's a person, a place, a smell, a color, a piece of furniture. If something doesn't feel good to you, so many of my clients this week, this is what's fun about doing what I do, is that I don't just have my own experience, but I get to see all these other people's experiences. So then I see the patterns that are happening. And that's what I want to bring you in this series, is how to look at the patterns, how to interpret the patterns, how to listen and hear the communication that's everywhere, and how to look at the spiritual weather and know enough about it without having to be an expert that you can sense the energy and make your plans, decide where your energy and your focus is going to go. So I realized one day, after completely ignoring astrology for most of my life, even my spiritual path, that it would make my life so much easier if I looked ahead at the astrology report, right? Not like, oh, you're going to meet the man of your dreams tomorrow in a magazine. Okay. I'm talking about like the real energy and science behind what the energies tell us. So you could get out of a relationship, right? You could have a toxic relationship. You could decide to leave. You could move out, or they could move out. You could end that connection. You could stop seeing a parent or a friend or whatever, a person who drags you down, who criticizes you, who never supports you. You can make a decision to remove yourself from that toxic energy, and please do. Okay. I know we've all been taught to tolerate, to put up with, to try to fix it, to hope it'll get better, but we're not in that life paradigm anymore. We're in a paradigm that says we have to take care of our energy. We have to cleanse it, clear it, protect it, and be very careful what we feed it. And so there's so much toxins in the system, in the mind, in every level of us. We're seeing unprecedented levels of disease, and the response to it is just causing more disease in general. So there's no better time. Also, we're in a sped up, we're in an accelerated evolution. That means everything from the planet to animals to us to plants to relationships, right? To something that maybe took you lifetimes or decades or years or months to process and get over in the past, you now can process very quickly. So you're going to be hitting more hurdles, and you're going to be going through more things, and you're going to be completing things, and you may be like, wow, I just thought that was the greatest thing and now it's over. Yes, move on, be in the present moment. These are the most important things you can do. Be careful of what you feed your energy, who you're around, what you listen to, all the energies, and then pay attention to the spiritual weather report. So hopefully I will be able to bring you lots of information, and do it in a way that it's easy for you to digest. Please send me your questions. If you go to nanakasha.com, and you can send an email to us, you can join the list, and we'll tell you when we're going to come out. I'm going to start doing more videos, more interviews. I want to have there's so many conversations coming to me now as I land after the eclipse. I went through a massive change. I feel like I've left a planet, gone across the universe, and in maybe the multiverse into a whole other reality. Who I am exactly, what my skills, talents are yet, I don't know. I haven't been offered the opportunity to get into different situations in my life to see how I feel, to see how I act, react, don't react. Most of my clients are seeing this pattern. I started to mention this, that they are perceiving more than one vibrational reality or speed or state of consciousness at the same time. And they're very aware something that they did that was sacred and quiet and internal and loving and beautiful. And now they step back into their life and it feels rush, rush, fast, fast, rat race, rat race. It feels like it's just out of control. This is what is fantastic about this, is not like one lady said, well, I kept hearing her energy say swept away. And she said, it's just so fast. I'm trying to catch up. She went on a spiritual pilgrimage kind of experience, very internal, very beautiful, very transformative, found center and balance, found a way of being. So maybe you're accessing new states like that on a trip, in a sacred place, in your backyard, in your meditation, in your dream. You're going to be. We're waking up. There isn't any way you can't. So you might as well say, oh, okay, what's happening? So I did a video last week about what's the meaning underneath it, and we're going to do more of that, because the understanding, what does this mean? What does it mean that there's fires all over? What does it mean there's volcanoes going off at unprecedented rates, right? What does this mean? What does that mean? Well, it isn't to make you nervous and say, oh, I have to know what it means. That's the logical brain. This is the intuitive side. This is where you're dropping into your sacred feminine and you're coming back into balance of all this over push, rush, rush, find. Please don't get caught up in desperation. This is one of the things that's happening right now, is things are easing up from the pandemic shutdown and people are rushing around desperate to find the solution. Where am I going to make money, or what do I do? And it's become a feeding frenzy of predators selling things that are get rich quick or instant this, or this is the only solution you need. I want you to be cautious of all of it and to not buy anything or do anything unless it's to help you get through this moment, until June 3rd and after, as Mercury goes direct again. It's not just about Mercury, but Mercury is our messenger. And right now, when it's in retrograde, it's not really going backwards, but our perception, our relationship to it, it looks like it's slowing down and going backwards and coming back to us. That's significant. What messages are coming back to you? Have you said to yourself, oh no, that's coming up again? I thought I had processed my father or my pain or my this or my that. Yes, a lot of things are coming back up again. But if it's coming up, it's completing. It's ready for you to review it and to reflect on it and to let it go. And maybe that's for 1 second. Maybe that's for a day. I don't know. It's the roller coaster of being in the moment that we've avoided by rushing and running around and planning. Also, you're not going to make money. You're not going to find clients. You're not going to find your soulmate. You're not going to do any of that by being desperate, by craving, by look at the scale, okay? I think we need to say, hi Sandra, hi Sherry, hi Sylvia. Ooh, I'm so glad it's sunny over there. So let's go over here to the screen and we're just going to be in peace about the contractors below us. There we go. Okay, so welcome to the Infinite Show. I'm so happy you're here. I was out swimming in this ocean, and this is the first I've done some other things that are kind of like this, but this is the first official spiritual weather report, and we're going to be offering this out. I want to make sure that you know that this is a guide. This is one of the videos here on YouTube, but there's also a PDF guide of all of the slides. And in that guide, it wasn't just for that experience. It is full of information on how to help you get through full moons. What do they mean? How to unhook from distractions, which is all this stuff, people's fears, your old fears in your head saying you're not good enough, the pain in your foot, all whatever it is, why you're here and how to navigate big energies. So that's there. If you subscribe at nanakasha.com, you'll get it. But you can also get it by going to the video on YouTube. So make sure you do that. This is a new limited time session that I'm doing. So if you're interested in magnetizing your soulmate or changing that energy, everything I have is at shop.nanakasha.com or nanakasha.com. So this is what we're doing. Like I said on this is we're looking at the energy. So let's go ahead and skip ahead. You might close your eyes. I want to find the scale. There we go. So this is available in the shop. It's free. Please go get it. It's thank you to David Hawkins. It's from his book, Power versus Force. And what I've done over the years is I've added to it. I've changed it a little bit to fit what I have seen in the energy work in my light body healing school, in the light infinity light weaving with my clients, in the intuition awakening, the chakra upgrade. There's a lot of these things that I take people through, and we change our state. We become very aware of the energy of our state. So this is one of the most powerful feedback tools that you can use to help yourself understand where you are. If you're having, excuse me, if you're caught up in the current, and it's been a long time around, but the current trend of blame. So it's blaming someone, blaming something, blaming the government, blaming the hurricane, blaming men, blaming the institutions, blaming the church, blaming your family, blaming yourself, blaming your failures, blaming somebody doing something or taking something from you, blame your education or your upbringing, blaming whatever, okay? So you can go on and on and on. You're gonna see that even if you have been on a conscious path, you're working on these things, don't get into that spiritual superiority of thinking, oh, it's okay, I don't ever have that anymore. I cleared that, I healed that. What I've seen is get real and be present, because now is the moment of transformation. That means everything has to melt down. Everything has to lose its shape and form and former power. So what better time than to let the guilt you were given by your family, or the blame that you were given or you have put on others, saw a show recently where the mother is extremely religious and extremely judgmental, and everything has to be exactly her way and exactly her religion, and it's turned her from being loving to very mean and very very harsh towards everyone, including herself. And something happens that her church turns on her and they judge her and they outcast her, and she's shocked because she said, I thought we were supposed to be loving and forgiving. And someone says to her, if this happened to someone else in your church, how would you have treated them? How would you have looked at them? And she realized, oh yeah, I would have totally judged them. So any form of judgment draws you down to the second lowest state. And I have it designed to look like it's underwater and above water, because acceptance is where your power comes fully back into your control. So to me, that's like rising out of the water, taking a breath. Acceptance is not choosing or giving up or saying that it's okay that I only have this. Acceptance is just absolute centeredness in this moment, accepting what is. I'm feeling really angry right now. I'm feeling like blaming people right now. I'm filled with shame right now. Shame is a horribly deep state. And so you can see what's the emotional state of these things. You've got grief is where your emotional body lives in regret. If you're living in regret, then everything you see is through a tragic mind. It's a mind that sees tragedy. That's a victim mind. It's a mind that sees loss and focuses on the horribleness of it. And despondency becomes your perspective. I mean, your process, meaning that's what's in and around you. You just feel despondent. What does that mean? Hopeless, right? It's just like, ugh. And disdain, that's judgmental too. So we start out thinking, well, grief, my daughter died. Of course, I felt grief. Yes, absolutely. And you should accept it and process it and be with it. As hard as it is, it's the fastest and the most healing way through what's happening. So whatever is coming up right now, whatever global pattern is unfolding, like, oh, suddenly, they're taking away women's rights again, or bringing up rules from 500 years ago when there were witch hunts. There's still witch hunts. That mentality is still out there, right? There's such powerful vibrational frequency medicine that I've known about for decades, that I've been a part of, that I've been able to use and share, that was so feared by mainstream medicine that it's been over a long period of time dismantled, disreputed, made illegal, taken away. And now I'm seeing it pop up here and there in really respectable circles, making a lot of money, spreading through hospitals, but in a very quiet way. Nobody's standing up and saying, look, energy medicine is real, this is working. If you did that, you'd be shot down. You'd be like the judgers, right? The people who are out there, the haters. This is a pattern now. Be a hater. Be out with your hate. How ugly is this? Well, let's say there's two sides to that. What if you looked at it and said, so ugly, when suddenly people started just spewing their prejudice and their judgment and their all of this really low energies, right? Blame and everything. And yet they felt entitled. Well, what did it do? It brought it up. It brought it out. It was like a volcano. It exploded, and it was ugly at first. It was a mess at first. But this is the process we're in. It's got to come out. It doesn't have to be ugly, but it has to come out. So step back from the world stage and step out of the story. Look at what perspective, what state you are looking at yourself and everything from. If you're in a low state, from shame to pride, if you're in below courage, and it's okay if you are, don't judge yourself, because then you just hook yourself down there even more, right? You just want to become aware of it and accept that it's happening, and you'll automatically start to free yourself from it. It may take time, it may take a minute, but you're going to need to become aware, because you're going to get sucked into something that triggers your grief or regret pattern. You're going to get sucked into something that reminds you of your hopeless or your victim type of mentality. And none of this is to say, but I was abused, so I was a victim. Okay, I'm not getting involved in the story. I'm not denying anyone's pain. I'm not validating anybody's actions. There is a conscious and unconscious way to act. And certainly we've seen that. But we all came in carrying a lot of baggage from our other lives, and we have to remember those energies are powerful. They're wounds. We agreed to them. We formed them. We formed them in a state of fear to create survival mechanisms, and they don't suit us anymore, because we're raising our vibration and we're going up, up, up. We're going up, up, up. We're going up the scale. We're expanding. Once we get out of these lower states more frequently, you spend a little more time just being in courage, you are going to feel empowered. This is where you give yourself permission. So when you get sucked into something, some drama that's an old pattern, why isn't that person doing that? Why is this always happening to me? Why do I always lose stuff? Don't look at it as anger. Don't get sucked down here and look at it through those glasses and that murky, heavy perspective. When you're 20 feet underwater, can you talk and hear clearly? Can you see and move with ease? No. So the energy is heavy. Everything is energy, your energy. You relate to the energy in everything else. If you are vibrating from fear or anxiety, if you are craving, this is the desperation I'm seeing right now. And I can see that so many people are going to lose money. So many people are going to make these whim decisions, these emotional decisions, and they're even going to believe they're made out of like a spiritual message, like, yes, this feels like the right answer. This person told me I can make money in 3 days and then I'll be a millionaire by the end of August and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I have been in business for 30 some years, and I have been in the online coaching business, and I have been in the online business coaching business, and I've been in it from a spiritual perspective, thank goodness, the whole time. But I can tell you that every person out there, even the ones who think they're really doing a good job, may be selling you something because they were told to sell you it, but they don't have any experience in it. And no one has experience where we're going. No one. No person out there can sell you a course that says this is what's going to work, whether it's making money, finding a love, whatever. It has to be individual. Your energy, who you are, who you're becoming, what your breakdown, your metamorphosis is looking like right now, where you're having things pop up and new skills, and a lot of people are feeling this awareness of the speed that tries to pull you out of your present centered state, and you have to learn to walk between those worlds and hold your center. And a lot of this is about your fears attracting, oh my gosh, now that COVID is calming down and I can go places, I can do things, and I can do this and I can do that, and I'm going to go to this event and I'm going to do that. Calm down. Right now, we're still in the energy of reflect and review. You haven't finished completing things. I actually have 3 clients who last week and this week, and even 1 or 2 days apart, experienced a complete 180 of the energies they were experiencing. In fact, several of them went all the way to this side during the eclipse, all the way back again, came out of the eclipses, and now has gone all the way back again. You haven't seen the end of this ride. You haven't landed. You're not on firm ground yet. Making big decisions and things like that is not a good idea right now. Okay? Now, one of the other things that's very powerful is when you look at the scale, when you start to test yourself, if you know how to do pendulum or muscle testing, you know how to do some kind of truth testing. Next week, I'm going to have a show on using a pendulum and how incredibly fabulous it is. And I'm going to do a one-day thing online on teaching you the easiest and the most powerful principles of pendulum work. And this is so you can tap into your truth. I want everything I do, whether you do a soul reading with me or a soul retrieval. Right now I'm doing a lot of third eye opening sessions and this new Magnetize Your Beloved Session, whatever it is. I'm working directly with you. The topic may have defined the container, but you show up, I show up, we connect in a sacred space. I create the energy to make sure that I'm a clear and open channel for the highest good of all concerned, and that we're connected to your highest good and what's optimal for you at this time. And then what comes through and how it comes through is absolutely personal to you. So that's why when somebody says, this is how you go out and make $1 million, nobody knows what the market's like yet. We're being told might be in a recession. We've had inflation. What do those words mean? Well, we can tie them to negativity. What if we just looked at them from energy? What is a recession? It's a depression. What is a depression? It's indifference. So it's down here around 50, and despair in the emotional field, feeling hopeless in the mind, and leaving, abdicating, just feeling like everything is left, opportunity is left, and condemning. So this is a big place where we see the continuation of that judgment energy. Is everything you see is you or condemning yourself or others. This is not a good space for creating anything. So if you don't get your energy in alignment, if you don't start to be able to read the signs and hear the communication and receive this directly to yourself, and then a whole other thing is learning how to decipher it, feel it, sense it, understand it, let it unfold, not force it, not make a decision what it means right away, not force it into what you want it to mean. Okay, I've seen all of these things done by myself and my clients. I had a very, very good friend, a really spiritual friend, a really very connected young lady. Wow, she was amazing. And yet when it came to her trying to find her love partner, her radars, her sensors just went scramble. And she was so bad at perceiving it that she forced herself into a relationship with a very nice person. But because she thought it was what some psychic told her, she was going to meet a particular kind of person. And we said, that person isn't that. And, oh yeah, that's sort of kind of that. That's it. Okay. Don't push, don't force. Doesn't matter what it is. It isn't going to work out well. It's going to be a bumpy road. You're going to have things redone. Right now, there are still things that are hidden. When we are in a new moon, when we are in an eclipse, anything that causes something being covered, something being blocked, a shadow over you, it means there's things in the dark. Also means things in the dark may come up. So these things we're completing. If you think about this on a mental, you're thinking about your thoughts, maybe your self-image, maybe your mindsets, maybe you're very aware of a pattern that you think about yourself you don't want anymore. Do you want to burn it on fire? Well, there's a lot of fire energy going on around the world right now. Fire energy is transformative. Violet flame is not a painful flame, and it's a spiritual flame that transmutes. That's an instant transmutation, changing energy into something else. So when you look at this, you can also start to say, well, where is it that I would like to be? Well, I say go to acceptance, but you know what? If you can just get to neutrality or willingness, willingness is right below acceptance, and you don't really have to do anything except say, okay, I'm willing. I don't even know what that means, but I'm willing. Okay, so let's go here back. And so we talked about how everything is energy, and that you can remove yourself, and you should remove yourself from any energy, whether it's a job, a person, a place, a color. We rented houses and condos and stuff for 4 or 5 years, 5 years, I think. And I'd immediately enter the place and start to rearrange the furniture, take certain things off the wall. I just want to share one of my sunsets with you. And take out any energy that offended me, that bothered me, that triggered me, and put things that are soothing and beautiful around me. I find it very important to have beautiful things around me. So now we're talking about that. Then some energies affect everyone. And that's what we're talking about. The full moons, the tides, they affect us, they affect the earth. So what we're doing, we've already talked about all this. There's one of my full moon pictures from this last full moon. Hello, blood moon, super moon, triple moon. It was intense. So I want you to take these things down that I've been giving you as guidelines. I'm here to empower you, okay? So if you work with me or you come to do a class or something, it's all about assisting with activating you, cleansing you, helping you see yourself, and moving those energies and helping you sense, reconnect, and get the information direct, okay, from within you. Reopen your inner eye, reconnect to your inner voice, open and free your heart, right? Open that crown, reconnect to your higher self. Whatever it is, there is more communication and more support. You're evolving very quickly. You're letting go of old stuff. The faster you let it go and don't drag it around and worry about it and blame anybody, the sooner you just say, okay, whatever, what's next? You look forward, you look at your feet, you take one step at a time. Notice what's the trend. These are energies that affect everyone. So if it's happening in the planet, it's happening in your body, it's happening in your mind. Is there a volcano going on somewhere? Is there a fire going on somewhere in your emotions, in your mind? Why? What do fires do? Well, they pretty much break it down to the basics. Everything ashes, right? What does a volcano do? A volcano melts everything. It's very much like a metamorphosis. It melts everything into one soupy goo, lava, And this is pure potential. This is new earth. It can be put anywhere. And then it raises the energy until it's ready to explode and create something new. Is that where you are in your life? They have a gorgeous picture, I have here somewhere, of a volcano going off underwater. Okay, very cool. So I want you to skip the struggle. I want you to find more ease in each moment, more self-love in each moment, not working on it. Don't work on anything anymore. Don't strive for anything anymore. Use your focus to be here, to say gently to yourself, I'm ready to understand the messages that are most optimal for me, and I'm going to be present in the moment. I'm ready to ride these waves of energy by getting a sense of what they are. I'm not overwhelmed by it. Now, my favorite saying is don't go to a beach or a picnic in a hurricane, for obvious reasons, right? It's not going to be pleasant. You're going to lose everything you brought. You can't talk. You're going to get beat, and you're going to go home unhappy. Okay? So you look at the weather and you say, look, 2 weekends from Saturday, it's going to be perfect weather, right? Or you look and you say, look, there's going to be a meteor shower next week. There is. Let's go to the fields. Let's go to the beach. Let's go here and watch them. So I want you to be able to do that with your life. So I want you to start now saying, I don't force or chase anything. I plan for ease and success, and I'm here, fully present, ready and willing to receive the guidance to connect to the energies that are most optimal for me at this time. This is one of my eclipse pictures. It was amazing. So this is just a quick recap of some of the energies, and we're going to be doing this again very, very soon so we can keep up with the energies as they shift. So no forcing, no putting pressure. Pause, give yourself space, breathe, listen to the intimate conversation with the messenger Mercury. Mercury is also Thoth, is also Hermes. This is a wise being. It's still review and reflect for a week or two. Now, we've had fiery Aries, intense, transformational energy, and we had the eclipse, so we're still aligning to what happened in the eclipse portal, to where you are, getting acclimated to your new reality, to your new planet. And so make your decisions from calm. Try not to make any big decisions until after June 3rd. Don't get caught up in desperation, please. If you feel, oh, this is it, this is it, this is the answer to it all, then I want you to sit with it for 1, 2, or 3 days. Wait till after Mercury goes direct, or sit and reflect on it in calm. All right? Now, some of the things that are coming, so we're going to start feeling them, are Jupiter and Mars in Aries. That's the motivating. We also have this abundant silver gate happening, and a new moon in Gemini. Gemini is the twins. Gemini is I'm a Sagittarius. It's my complementary sign. One of my dearest friends was a Gemini. And to me, Gemini is fun. Okay? It's light and it's fun. And it's, I'm not going to do that unless it's fun. So what if you started to draw that in? And the new moon is what? It's dark. Again, things are still hidden. Things are buried. Things are growing under the surface. You might not have any idea what pops up. So like I said, I have seen clients who've had some very shocking news in relationships, very shocking news in health, and very shocking, very painful things happening in different areas. And it's part of what we're doing. Know that you're on a path, that it is leading you somewhere beautiful, that it is loving, that it is kind, that you have the support and you have the talents and you have what you need to walk through whatever this is. Now I'm going to do more tuning into this silver gate energy that's coming, but it's, there we go, we talked about that. So next week we transition. out of Mercury, but doesn't just like boom like that, right? It's going to take a little bit. Then we're going to build some momentum, and it's going to be a lot of galactic energy. What does that mean? More expansive. You might be being contacted by realms, celestial beings, other planets, the Sirians, the Pleiadians. You might be tuning into nebula energies or black hole energies. They've found got some cool pictures, new pictures of the black holes. In some of these places, they're just completely trying to figure out what they are. Still don't have any idea. It's absolutely fascinating. So the sun and this Aldebaran star are going to form this silver gate, and it's about good luck and good fortune, and it's about ascending and coming there. This is going to come to Earth. It's like it's coming to Earth to help us ascend through these silver gate portals. So I'm going to be doing a call on that, a show on that, and making sure that we have a process. We have a guided process to access this. So, because you can travel through this portal. So this is something very exciting to look forward to. So one more pattern to take a look at is through past lives. They're coming up like crazy. They've been coming up for me, for my clients for a decade or more. However, they've gotten more and more and more over the past several years. And this year, I don't think there's a session where it doesn't come in some way or another, strangely enough. And I had a third eye opening session where all of them seem to be unfolding that everyone has to go through the heart and clear something in the heart, often in the throat as well. And then those three centers connect. So having to go through the heart, maybe you could look at that too. That's a pattern I'm seeing in my clients, is go into the heart and see, is your pathway from your truth, your soul, your heart, your blueprint, into your third eye or into your throat of communication or creation? Is this pathway blocked with something that you need to complete, acknowledge, or let go? And there were 3 past lives that wanted to come together and bring their particular talents to this person's third eye. And it was like I was shown an eye shape where the top and the bottom of the center, the fatter part, had a little curved section taken out. And those were these 2 lives. And then the middle, bigger section was another life. And as it unfolded, I'm just, wow, this is different, I was like, okay. And it was going and going. And then her third eye, there was a couple of these. There was no way to access it, to get in there, to open it, to stretch it and awaken it. And that's actually what's been happening. People have been like being pulled or stretched by their guardian angel, or different energies have been happening. It's just absolutely amazing. And this was an expansion through re-accessing 3 powers of inner vision from 3 different lives. So this is not an uncommon kind of experience in my sessions. So pay attention if you feel drawn to or communicated to through or about or with some of your other lives. These are parts of your soul, and you brought a lot of those with you. It's why your life has been full of loss and pain and ups and downs and this and that. And you're completing all of that for all of you, okay? You're the big leader. So way to go. You're in the right place, okay? So take it slow. Take a few steps back. If you're getting overwhelmed, do something to be still. Mars and Jupiter, they really love progress. This is really going to be moving forward energy that we're moving into. So take the next week to reflect, to complete, to rest, to rejuvenate, okay? So whatever energies that you were given or deposited into or are being directed, what path you're being directed on, because a lot of people, you're still landing. So there's many different paths your landing could take. And the more present you are to releasing yourself from these things, the more you're going to align with the most optimal. So the same as you want to trigger or signal or send a message to the genes ahead of the event. So if you think, if you worry that you're going to have pain and suffering, and you have pain and suffering, it's because you've signaled your genes ahead by thinking that that's going to happen. And they go, okay, we're lining up with that. If you signaled your genes ahead and your future self, which path do you want to get on? I want to get on the most optimal path for my soul at this time. Okay, what is that? Well, for me, I'm not going to direct it, but I'm going to share, right? You don't want to take over and say, I want this, make it this, but you want to say whatever's optimal, and I love this. I love peace. I love time for myself. I love, freeing myself from the guilt, whatever it is. So be a conscious creator, but not a forcing creator. Be a co-creator. Flow with these energies. No one has ever lived through this before, and the momentum that's going to build in June and beyond is very, very important for you to be ready for. Okay, so this is going to be next week, and I'm going to do a couple of videos. There's a session right now. It's a limited time. It's just through the solstice in June, and called Magnetize Your Beloved, but I'm going to do a couple of videos and post them up here. So be sure you subscribe, or be sure you click notifications so you know when we post stuff. And one's going to be the 3 biggest secrets to magnetizing your beloved. And the other one's going to be the 3 biggest blocks that you experience to magnetizing your beloved. Okay, here is a picture from a fantastic newsletter that I'm on called Earth Sky News, I believe is what it's called. And they share pictures of where the moon will be. They share pictures of the eclipse was amazing because people all over the world send in. They share, it's more of a science kind of a newsletter. But they shared that there's a thing being called the Sharkcano, a volcano that's submerged, that they found sharks living in it. So it's like they're living inside the crater of the volcano, which is submerged. And there was also a photo of a volcano that exploded, but from underwater and from above. So it's quite a cool thing. But this really attracted me. So I want to close with this. Just look at this. So this is in the Northeast in the mid-evenings right now. You may be able to see Altair, Vega, and Deneb. They're forming what is called a summer triangle. I'm new to what that means. It's not, these are not connected stars or anything. They form an alignment. And energetically, what does this mean? This alignment is a gateway. All things like this, pyramids and these kinds of shape, form a gateway. So on top of all the other energies we have going on this week, here is a gateway that is open. Now, I would recommend that you maybe look up Altair Vega. I never heard of Deneb before, or you just tune into this and see what is opening for you, what is calling to you, what is there for you, what energy is coming through this gateway to communicate to you, to help guide you through whatever you're evolving through, whatever is breaking down. You're filled with love and you're surrounded with it. Maybe it's coming through this gateway. Maybe there's a pathway. Maybe you can go through your dreams in this gateway. All right. So the volcano energies, the fire energies, send me anything else that's going on in the world right now that might be a pattern or an energy. And I will tune into that, and we'll keep looking at the spiritual weather together. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Many, many blessings. Let me just take a moment to come back on the screen here. Hello. So let's take a moment together and thank you. So we give great thanks for this beautiful gathering together, and I give thanks to you. And I'm going to weave heart to heart with this beautiful smoky quartz wand, that we may be heart to heart, loving to one another, to ourselves, to the planet, loving to that which is dying, breaking down, loving to that which is unfolding, growing, loving to that which is unknown, known, loving to the past as it releases, completes, loving to the future as it connects and surrounds us. Thank you for the sacred space and this sacred moment and this gathering and this information. And create a clear and open channel for each and every one of us that stays with us, guiding us to be in the present moment, to listen through our hearts, to awaken our senses, and walk our true path. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the guidance. I am here. I am present. I am ready and willing. Namaste. All right, my beloveds. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Hi, Brittany. The financial world does have some magic coming. I was introduced to some simple, powerful way of multiplying frequency that starts with the original frequency of money. Hi, Amy. I'm late. No problem. You're never late. You're always in the right place at the right time, Leandra. And hi, Z. Oh, Karma is delivering more packages than Amazon. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, indeed. Right? All right, everyone. I look forward to hearing from you. Ask me questions, share different things that are happening. Let's interpret and unfold these patterns so we all have our little maps. I'm seeing everybody leaving this little gathering with this little map in your heart, like, ooh, da, 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 da. Okay, namaste. Much love.